Okay, so today I'm going to talk about conditioning. Why are people not getting in the condition that they used to, maybe? I think there's many reasons for this. And I think that with a lot of people, they try to stay big. So they start the diet off and they say, right, I want to be 15 stone on stage, when in actual fact their true weight is probably more like 13 and 3/4, 14. And by trying to stay big, obviously when you get on stage you're not quite in shape and you don't look as big. The illusion is that if you look ripped, it's like putting 10 pounds on someone when they step on stage. So I think that's one of the reasons people are just not dieting down enough, because they're scared, because they feel like they're getting too small. And obviously, before a show, I've walked around and my clothes are hanging off me and I feel really small. And then when I've looked back, I actually look at my biggest, and that's the idea, that's the illusion. So that's one. Two, I think these days people are putting far too many cheat meals in. I don't think I ever used to put so many in. There was always a time that we would pop the odd cheat meal in if we felt like it was going to benefit our physique, or if we were really early. But it's like now people are putting it in weekly. Maybe the discipline of getting so ripped is not there anymore. I don't know. But it was always a challenge for us to get as ripped as possible. And when we were in the hardcore gyms, we were surrounded by people that were doing this, that were getting shredded. So we would look at other people and think, we want to look like that. So then that week we'd go away and we'd suffer, we'd get that down, so we'd go in next week and try to, show everyone in the gym that we'd had a hard week and that we were, getting in shape. So there was that, and I think now in the fitness gyms, they don't even want you to take your top off there. So I think that, that's maybe another reason why people are not getting so down. Maybe it's the surroundings. Thirdly, I think, show preppers that maybe haven't got the experience that are helping people, and maybe that's why, because, years ago we always used to help ourselves. I think show prepping is brilliant. I think it can take the pressure off you. I think it's great as long as you're seeing someone who obviously has got experience. So this is the problem, you see, and some people might be able to get themselves ripped but are not able to get others in shape. The only thing that you can is experience, seeing a lot of people over many years. I think I owned a gym, and in that 11 years I saw so many people competing, taking their tops off. It was daily for 11 years. And when you think of 11 years worth of people coming in daily, taking their tops off, training, doing shows every year, you get to see it a lot, and you start seeing things that become common. So you start remembering and thinking, I remember what happened when this guy upped his carbs. I remember what happened when this guy dropped his carbs too much or stopped eating carbs, etc. So it's experience. So another reason why I think people maybe not be getting in shape for shows is, like I said, there's the first three. What would I say that the next one is? I think people really these days, they don't really know what it takes. They start off the diet and they think, this is going to be easy. In about 4 or 5 weeks' time, I'm going to be ripped. Well, it's not like that. This is very, very difficult. It's all right seeing everyone on social media getting in shape, but this is not for everyone. I've said this before. Not everyone can get ripped. I mean, another reason is genetically as well. Some people just can't get hard, can't get shredded. But coming to the biggest reason I think why people don't get ripped is, and this is just my own opinion, is because people don't leave long enough. And they might leave long enough to get ready and get all the fat off, but I've always felt that the only way to get that hard, super grainy, hard look is to stay in shape longer. And the longer you can stay in shape for, the better. You can tweak it. When you up your carbs a little bit, obviously, and you're not drastically dieting down anymore, that's when the hardness and the graininess starts to come and appear, because the muscle is coming back up. And I've always said you'll always look better coming up than what you will coming down. So in my first shows, I'd say, right, leave 12 weeks. And we'd diet. I'd really, really diet hard, super, super strict. I'd get all the fat off, and I'd get to the show. And I was definitely, fat-free. There was no doubt about it. But I didn't have that quality hard look. And it was only when I started leaving longer and getting in ready at least, 4, 5, 6 weeks early. And then I could creep them carbs up a little bit, and I could just sort of, eat, if anything, eat up to the show. And I would always look much harder, much grainier, better quality. So Definitely, people are not coming in early enough. They just think it's easy. They're going to leave a few weeks. They're going to get ready, and all that fat that's been there their whole lives is suddenly going to go, and they're going to be shredded for the show. So I think it's not easy, and I think getting the first stone off, as an example, comes off very quick, and people go, this is coming off easy. I can afford to eat a load of food. But the thing is, that last 4 or 5 pounds that you end up getting is going to take a lot longer than that first 4 or 5 pounds. That's the problem. People, get complacent in the middle of the diet. They think that it's easy. It's going to come off easy because the first lot did. You might have to spend weeks and weeks and weeks just to get that last little bit off, because it always takes longer. So that's another reason, people getting complacent in the middle of the diet. So there's so many reasons why people are not getting shredded now. I think the best thing to do is just get the job done, because once the job is done, even if you think you're coming in early, it's better to come in early, obviously, than late. So come in early, and then you can just tap away, taking away them little crevices, that little bits of fat that are pockets, and get yourself shredded. And then once you feel like your fat's down, don't continue dieting, because obviously then you start shrinking and losing muscle mass. What you want to do then is just level the carbs off, and just, if anything, just eat up and just monitor it. And obviously then your condition will just get harder and harder and harder. And then there'll be less to do in the last week, because I think that what happens is people, when they're dieting down, are trying to achieve this hard look. They haven't got ready early enough, so they're trying in the last week to panic and do things to turn it around. And 9 times out of 10, like I've talked on previous videos, it goes wrong. The best way is to be standing literally 2, 3, 4 weeks out, pretty much how you want to look on stage, I would say personally. And then it's just a case of a very small little refinement at the end, a few little tweaks, and then you're going to go on stage nice and dry and nice and hard and full looking. And that's the way to do it. And that's the way to get that super good condition. So with the condition, it's basically about time. People expect to get it off too quick. They're not leaving long enough on the diet. Maybe the surroundings, because the gyms they're in now, there's people that are not walking around shredded like they used to be. It was just common when we were in the hardcore gyms that it was common to see people lifting 280, 300 kilo squats. It was common to see people competing and being shredded. And we got a little bit desensitized to it. It was just something that you expected in them type of gyms. As where in the fitness gyms, you just don't often see it. So what happens is people, like your friends and that, go, wow, you look amazing, you're ready. They're not ready. These people have not seen someone ready. In fact, not many people have stood next to someone really, truly show ready. It's quite a sight to be seen if you're standing next to someone who is truly ready. And that's the problem. It's no good listening to everyone telling you how great you are and telling you how shredded you are and how ready you are. They haven't even been to a show. So you mustn't listen to them. If you haven't done a show before, the best thing to do is go to a show, like I've always said, and watch it. And be around people that are also competing, and that's another reason why I think people are not getting ripped enough, is because they're listening to other people that don't really know what they're looking for or looking at. So my advice is, if you're going to get a show prep, someone to help you with getting ready for the show and the conditioning, make sure they've got the experience to do so. Make sure they've helped a lot of people in the past and not just themselves. Secondly, leave plenty of time, more than enough time. Some people say, but I don't want to be dieting that long. But the thing with it is, if you're dieting for a long time, you're probably going to have more chance of putting the odd cheat meal in, and also it's going to be easy days at the end. Some people are having to suffer at the end really badly because they're not ready in time. As when you get ready early, you don't need to suffer. You go into the show feeling happy, and you've got plenty of energy because you've already been through that bit of coming down, and now you're eating slightly more carbs because the fat's actually off. You're actually going into the show feeling so much better. So definitely coming in early is a must when it comes to getting hard conditioning. And of course, like I said before, genetics, some people I know just don't seem to be able to get that hardness, But there's no excuse for not getting the fat off. If you're doing a show and you go on stage and you're fat, then there's really no excuse for that. Personally, if it was me, if I got to a show and I felt like I wasn't in shape, I'd leave it and I'd just do another one later on in the year. I would not embarrass myself going on stage. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's always that show that you go on and you're not in your best shape. I'm not saying that. I'm saying people that go on there that are miles off. You know, that have probably got like a stone to lose. You know, you always see that one guy on the end there, and you think, you know, why is he? What's he doing there? Who's advised him? Who's told him he should do the show? You know. So really, yeah. As far as the conditioning is concerned, got to leave plenty of time. Got to stop listening to people that don't know what they're talking about. I think that you know, stick with the game plan that you've got. Don't be influenced by everyone else around you. You know, if you know it works, then stick with it. It's like with me, I have a formula that works for me. It used to work then, it works now, and it will always work. I know that if I go on a set amount of food, I eat what I eat, I train how I need to train, I will get in shape. So that's basically it. So yes, good luck with that. Like I said, conditioning, very, very important. You can be massive, but if you haven't got the conditioning, then really, you know, winning shows is something that's going to be very difficult. You know, to win a show, you need to be in shape, you need to be ripped. You know, and there's nothing better and a better feeling than being shredded, being ripped. Certainly being one of the most ripped on stage is a great feeling. So bring it down. Don't have too many cheat meals. Don't cheat. You know, keep that food tight. Get in shape early. You know, don't listen to people around you, and then get in the show ripped. And good luck.